How do we handle stress when we're both stressed out? Actually, we were just talking about this, is we try our best to not both be down at the same time. I think sometimes that's a downfall of some marriages, is where one person gets down or upset or stressed out, and the other person kind of adds to it, versus being like, assess the situation, maybe be stressed for a second, but then be like, okay, they're far down. I'm gonna try to see the bird's eye view. So prioritizing communication, and then always trying to give the other perspective, trying to see the best in things. Usually one of us can balance each other out. I think that's what's created some of our success, is that one of us will be like, okay, let's just say for this instance, Ryan's upset or stressed out about something. Okay, I need to be a bit more solid right now, so I'm gonna make sure I show the positive side, maybe just be a rock in just who I am, not complaining, not adding to the negative. It's not always about teaching each other, because in moments you don't necessarily always want perspective from your spouse.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think being that example.
Learn through that. I think before we've tried that, where the other person is, something's going on, so you have a solution, and you realize that even if they sometimes don't even want a solution right now, they want just to be heard, or just be in a position where you can give compassion. So if there's something that's, it's relative. Stress is sometimes relative to what's going on in life, and so, whoever can kind of recognize which I guess what's more petty, or what's more, who needs to be there more. We kind of just worked off each other, and I think we've argued our way through it, I get, from time to time. The point of life is you're going to have frustration, you're going to have things that happen. It's what are we learning through that? So so the next time it happens again, because things are always going to happen again, but just by sheer nature of life. But how do we respond to it? How do we get better through that? And sometimes I've learned it's just sometimes better to say nothing. Sometimes it's better to say something. Sometimes it's and it's situational. But if we both are, usually one of us identifies who needs to take the high road, and doesn't dismiss the other person, because the other person can bring it back up down the road. We always talk about even having discussions at least once a week of where we're at in life, partnership discussions, where we're at in life. And if that stressful moment is still there, that's something we're talking about by then, but it's probably not worth talking about, so we just kind of move on. It's like there's a saying that I've heard, is like, shovel the pile while it's small. Doesn't mean you have to deal with it that moment, but if it's a big deal, write it down and we bring it back up again. And if by the emotions past, it's not that big of a deal. It probably wasn't that big of a deal. So.
Yeah.